What's up, guys? It's Tyler the Taker here. I'm here to talk today about a topic relating to addiction as well. This isn't something that is normally considered a problematic substance, but it does have some really negative effects that impacted my life and caused me to have a series of consequences. That condition I'm talking about is CHS, which is cannabinoid hyperemesis syndrome. And basically, what this results from is long-term and significant amount of use of weed. And for me, let me just go into my background when it comes to the substance, because I want you guys to be informed and I want to kind of give you an idea, just based on my severity of symptoms and hospital admittance. I want to go ahead and give you guys an idea of how that all happened. Anyways, so I've been smoking weed since I was about 15 years old. I've always been a shy kid. I've always had a hard time, making friends. They used to play a game called Kick Tyler. Instead of kickball, it was kick me. They would try to see how many balls they could hit me in the head with. But anyways, let's not get sidetracked there. So back to being 15 years old. When I first started smoking weed, it was magical, to say the least. It took me out of my anxiety, which nothing else at that point had ever been able to do. It gave me friends, or so I thought, because I was able to, have people to smoke with. And it also made me super creative and so cool. And, it's really sad, just to preface this by saying that it's really sad how they have an entire generation of kids convinced that this stuff is totally harmless. Like, think about that for a second. You can drink enough water to give yourself hyponatremia, and you can die from that, swelling of the brain. You can, drink too much of anything, but apparently, weed doesn't have a limit. And I'm here to tell you guys that's wrong, because I'm not a doctor, but I was basically a scientist doing these medical experiments on myself. It wasn't any good. So for years, off and on, I smoked weed. It wasn't my drug of choice, though. That was Xanax and heroin. Anyways, it was fun at first. I, really enjoyed it. I'll never forget the first time I smoked. I was, out at a park, and I was hitting it out of a plastic bong. And, we went back, we played Battlefront 2, and it was the most magical experience, and that's the thing. Like, I can't lie, like, there were good times, but what I'm about to get into, you guys, let's afterwards, let me ask, I'm gonna ask y'all at the end of this, after I tell my story about what happened, if you think it's worth it, if you think a little bit of carefree fun, eating snacks, which I can do anyways now, because I work out, I run, I can, I actually have an appetite, and just being a little relaxed and laughing. So my symptoms of CHS, they didn't start for years, and that's kind of typically how it happens. So what I kind of noticed in my early to mid 20s, so I'm 28 right now. So this would make me in my early 20s. I noticed that when I was smoking, I would wake up with a sour stomach. I was always complaining chronically about a sour stomach, about, pain in there, and it typically went away by the after the morning was over, though. So that's the thing. It wasn't, that was the prodromal phase, which is the first phase in CHS, and you can stay in this phase for a long time. And if you're feeling symptoms of anxiety, restlessness, racing heart, waking up with a sour stomach, acid reflux, and it's not typical for you, then you should check yourself before you wreck yourself. That's the simplest way I can say it, because man, did I wreck myself. And for an addict like me, there's so much denial that, it's not the weed, it's actually like poisoning from this other thing, or, it's actually the government. Like, I didn't say that, but like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I'll get out there with those theories sometimes. But yeah, so for months, years, I noticed the sour stomach. I noticed, just kind of, it took me a few bowls or a few equivalent, to get going in the day. So that's how you know that your use is really not healthy, is when you are using it to counter a health problem that you didn't have before, that's arisen after using the substance. So anyways, if you ignore these symptoms, if you ignore your body like I did, because I'm an idiot, I'm just hard-headed, I'm not an idiot, but if you ignore these symptoms, then it'll go on to bite you in the butt, and it becomes full-on hyperemesis. And let me tell you, this is the most pain that I have ever felt in my life, ever. The last time that this happened to me, it took over 10 days for me to be able to eat anything more than bread. Yeah, I was literally eating bread and crackers, and that was like a challenge for me. I lost almost 25 pounds in a few, like a few short weeks, like 2 or 3 weeks. Like, I was wasting away. So typical symptoms of CHS include, you're gonna wake up, and it's a constant vomiting. It's like you feel it rising. It's like this acidity rising, and the best way I can describe it is it's like you're fighting a tsunami, is all I can say. It's like, you have to fight against it. And yeah, so I would throw up anywhere from 20 to 40 times a day, sometimes more. It got to the point where I was so dehydrated and physically weak that I could barely move by myself. My fingers were tingly, my face was tingly, and as someone who suffers from major anxiety, I thought I was dying. I really did. I thought I was dying. And at the time, I would always tell people, that, oh, weed's never killed anybody, it's totally harmless, like, you're just, mad because I'm having fun, like, all these excuses at the end of the day. And when you really analyze that, and see what's behind it, you'll see that it's a fear of quitting the substance because of a mental addiction. And that's an important distinction. Something doesn't have to be physically addictive for you to have a mental tolerance and addiction to it, because I've quit marijuana many times, but it's the staying quit part that's hard, because it has a stronghold on my brain, and I started this stuff when I was really young. So it scares me, honestly, when I see you guys, all y'all Zoomers and, younger. Like, I love y'all. Shout out if you're watching this. I don't know, this might be the future, this might have gotten big, I don't know, but Buddha's here, he knows, he knows all. But yeah, I see, like, people as young as like 13, 12, 11, just smoking weed, and they're setting themselves up for misery, really. So anyways, the emesis part of this symptom, it went on so consistently for a period of time that I would wake up crying. Like, I would wake up in so much pain that I would be crying, and I would literally, the only thing that could relieve some of the pain, because it felt like my stomach was going to explode, was taking a hot bath, a piping hot bath, capsaicin cream, rub some on my stomach, that helps too, and watermelon juice. But other than that, I mean, you're flopping around like a fish, you're yelling, it's painful. I mean, and this is coming from me, a person who's quit heroin cold turkey, a person who's quit Xanax, a person who's quit cocaine, every single substance you can imagine, for the most part, that can be abused. I abused at some point, and I'm not proud of that. I'm not sitting here because I want to be the drug guy on YouTube. That's not it at all. I'm sitting here today because I had a dream that I could help somebody. I had a dream that I could look on there, and that, even if it's a few people, they're going to see this video and they're going to say, like, to themselves, wow, like, he told me what it was. Because let me tell you guys, if you have CHS, you're done with weed. Like, forget about it. Because the thing is, you disrespected the plant and you abused it, and so your privileges of it are taken away. That's how you can consider it, really. Like, you might as well just write a goodbye marijuana letter, write a little love song about how you're so far away, like you're, she's Delilah or something. Like, you have to, because otherwise you're gonna just be in